So the question is, would I still choose a career in data science in 2026, knowing what I know now after having spent almost a decade in this field? And the answer is yes, but only for a very specific kind of a person. I'm currently a senior data scientist at Intuit TurboTax, and I've spent my entire career in data analytics and data science. I started working at a small tech startup at the beginning of my career. I moved on to mid-size ad tech companies, and now I'm working at a larger tech company. With the advent of AI and AI tooling on the inside, I am watching how the definition of what it means to be a data scientist is changing literally week to week. And so naturally the question is, well, is this even still a good career? And so in this video, I want to talk about what's changing, what kind of a person I think would be successful in this career, and why, despite all of the challenges, I still think data science is one of the best careers to build in 2026. So if you look at the most recent job descriptions for data scientists, let's look at this job post from Meta. Go down, you'll start to see that there's language around adhering to and implementing responsible ethical AI practices, demonstrated ongoing AI skill development, optimize, redesign workflows, and drive measurement impact. If we look at a senior data scientist role at Google, we see a similar thing. Experience in generative AI evaluation methodologies and metrics. So this is the new hot topic, AI evaluation. Before that, say 2 years ago, causal inference was really the hot new topic in data science. And before that, of course, it was your predictive modeling and NLP, which has been completely eaten up by LLMs. Okay, so why am I showing you this? It's because it has been absolutely true in my own personal experience that I've had to rebuild and reinvent myself multiple times over. In college, I studied applied mathematics, but I had a strong interest in theoretical mathematics, so I really focused on that. So then after college, I needed to spend the summer learning some new skills. And so I had to teach myself SQL, I had to teach myself Tableau, and I needed to upskill my Python programming ability. And eventually that landed me a job at a small tech startup doing data analytics. For the next couple of years in my career, those three kind of core skills of SQL, Tableau, Python carried me a long way. And eventually I got a job where what was required of me was a very strong understanding of hypothesis or A/B testing. And I had an understanding of what hypothesis testing was from college and from classes in stats and from the textbook kind of definition of how to do hypothesis testing. But this was the first time I needed to do it in practice. So I brushed up on those skills, both from kind of like a textbook perspective, learning from others and just gaining expertise, doing it, growing from a more junior level understanding to a more senior level understanding. And then a few years after that, a new evolution was required of me. There was this kind of focus in the data science field of causal inference. Observational things are nice and correlational analyses are nice. It kind of gives you some insight into some understanding of what's happening, but at the end of the day, what we all want to understand are causal relationships between two variables. If X happen, is Y guaranteed to happen? And you can't always do a randomized controlled trial or an A/B test. And so if you want to infer causality when you don't have an A/B test possible, then you need causal inference techniques. And when I needed to learn this, I actually had never heard of what causal inference techniques were before. And so this was an entirely new skill set that I needed to develop. And now we are in a world with agentic tooling and with AI agents starting to be embedded in all sorts of products where what is required of a data scientist is measurement frameworks for these agentic product experiences, and in general, AI evals. And measurement is under the purview of us data scientists. And so we have the responsibility of learning this whole new domain, and so that we at the core can do what we need to do. So what do I mean by the core? While all of the tools change, and while all of the techniques that you might use will change, what it means to be a data scientist at the bottom, most kind of fundamental, essential level is that you use data to extract an insight that then informs or changes strategic decision-making or business outcomes. Point blank period. That is what your role is as a data scientist. And so that being said, who is the kind of person that I think will be successful in this field? Like we just went over with the evolution of my own personal skill set that I had to go through over the last 10 years, you have to be willing to learn. If you are not interested in constantly trying to be on the cutting edge and learning new skill sets, reinventing what you are subject matter expertise in, data science is going to be a really difficult field for you. But on the other hand, if that's something that really excites you, constantly learning, being in a novel field, learning new things and mastering new things, that kind of continuous learning process and that journey over mastery that is never going to come in data science, then you are a person that I think would absolutely thrive and love this field as a career. And even if you are the kind of person that is really kind of interested or excited by constantly reinventing yourself and redeveloping new skill sets, I have to say it's not easy. Having to start from zero on something and go through the awkward phase of learning, of feeling like you don't know enough, or you're kind of like have that imposter syndrome in a room of other people when you should be the subject matter expertise, is difficult. It's tricky. There's no way around it. It's just kind of like the natural consequences of learning something new, but that is what it is to be a data scientist. And so with this specific main challenge, would I still choose to become a data scientist in 2026? And I think it's kind of obvious that my answer is yes. And why is my answer yes, given these challenges? For me personally, I really love the kind of seat at the table that being a data scientist gives me. I always have been kind of interested in business, and I think a lot of us kind of have a fascination with people who are like CEOs and calling the shots and making the moves. And as a data scientist, you get to be involved in that process. You get to have your seat at the table to give your input. You can have your instincts and have your business sense and really kind of bring all of your judgment to bear. And also you have a secret X factor of these technical abilities. And then you can bring your technical rigorous analysis that you did to product managers or software engineers or leaders in general and say, hey, this is what I think we should do. This is why I think we should do it. And this is the technical, rigorous kind of academic thing that I did to inform my decision making. I have this very data-backed judgment about how we should be moving forward. And that is such a strong position to hold. I think, and this is just me personally, my own preferences and proclivity, that being at this intersection of technical ability and business outcome is just so cool. I think it's so cool. And so for sure, I would choose to become a data scientist again. Also, I have to say that being a data scientist pays well. And so that's obviously always nice. You get to kind of be financially secure and kind of build a life for yourself and have that financial security, which is for sure not nothing. So yes, even with AI, even with the radical change, I still think I would choose to be a data scientist in 2026. And I still think it's a fantastic career. I think the question is less of whether it is a good career and whether you are the kind of person who fits well with this career, given your own personal history, given your own kind of preferences and the way your brain works. But even beyond being that kind of a person, there still is the practical, okay, there is a field, you have to know certain things. Should I learn A? Should I learn B? Should I learn C? Because of AI being able to kind of democratize and take away certain skill sets. So next week, I'm going to talk about if I was a data scientist coming up in 2026, what would I learn and how would I learn it? If this video was useful for you, if you thought it was interesting and entertaining or cool, if you found value out of it in any way, consider liking and subscribing. I make a video like this and release a video like this every Sunday, so consider subscribing and following along on the journey. Thank you for stopping by, and I hope to see you in the next one.